review segment where we get to have conversations around some topical issues and invite you to join us because the show is interactive. You can join us via WhatsApp number on your screen. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions. Let us know what you make of these topics, the issues that will be raised, the perspectives that will be brought to the conversation, and of course your own position on some of these matters. You can join us on our socials. We're live on Facebook. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. We're interactive on X, formerly Twitter. We're engaging on Instagram, and you can enjoy some exclusive video content from ChannelOne TV on TikTok. So once again, you're welcome. Let me say good morning to Eric Chum. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party, NPP's communications team. Eric, good to see you.
Same here.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You've been busy.
Very much so, very much so. As you also know, I'm spokesperson for Dr. Brian Champong.
Right.
And he's, as we speak, just finished the second phase of the tour in the eastern region. We're coming to Accra for a day or so, and then we head back to Ashanti region. He actually is the only candidate that's been able to finish the tour and tour the all constituencies, and actually has kick-started a second phase of the tour. I mean, we did Greater Accra last week, and then we're in the eastern region, and we would also move into Ashanti.
The second phase, is it targeted?
It's, well, so basically we actually, of course, because of the time factor, we are sort of zoning it and compressing that into one constituent, two constituent, three, depending on the area. In some places, because of proximity and maybe logistical challenges, we will do just that constituency.
Right.
But in areas where we're able to bring the constituencies together, we do that, and then also get an opportunity to speak to them. And this is something that probably has never happened. I mean, this is an individual that has used 4 months to actually tour the entire country, and then also kick-started the second phase to still make sure that the base of the party is poised for victory come
That's very
election day. Of course, I mean, but that's the nature. That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So you, I mean, I came from Easton last night, and I'm here. I mean, it's part of the job. But again, it's also one of the things that, even for any politician, you still have to be grateful for, to get an opportunity to interact with your own people, to get to understand what the issues are, and then be able to prefer solutions and put together some of these things. And so it's important. It's an extremely important exercise. I mean, sometimes even this whole conversation around like the primaries, like what we are doing, it's not just a mere process of electing a leader, but also getting an opportunity to interact with the base of the party, and then also get to understand what the issues are. You'll be able to appreciate the dynamics, the nuances, and that becomes almost a platform to put together your programs and policies to sell to the entire electorate. Because in the final analysis, these persons are also Ghanaians.
True.
They have views. They can express disquiet. They can also prefer solutions to the challenges that they are facing, or be developing them in the various communities. So this is an extremely important exercise. We believe strongly that it's gone very well.
Very well, very well. We'll get into MPP politics and, of course, the flag bearer race, because I know you're supposed to meet with the EC and the police.
Yes,
we'll get into that later on. But the most topical issue on the minds and on the lips of all Ghanaians at this point is the matter of the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. He appeared before an immigration judge in the US last night, and were allowed in to a certain point, up until the point where his lawyer moved that the case be held in camera. And that's where we're all thrown out of. virtually. We're asked to leave, but I had in there later and I noticed that there were still so many Ghanaians in there, everyone interested in what was going to happen. But of course, we had to leave at some point. Those who didn't were thrown out. But the outcome of that hearing is that the case has been adjourned to April 27. However, he's to be held in detention up until that time. So 97 days more in detention. This is Ghana's former finance minister. And to think that an issue such as a visa revocation, or if you like expiration, will keep him in detention this long, for me, I still can't understand it. I don't know what you make of this.
Well, I mean, it's quite troubling to start with. Some of these things, of course, if it's not happening to you, you can have different views on the matter. Now it's become a legal issue. It's gone through a process. The jurisdiction is not Ghana, and so they have their own rules when it comes to issues to do with immigration and all of that. And of course, I mean, he also has the benefit of a legal team. And I'm sure that even though some pronouncement has been made, I don't know if there are other processes that can actually be activated to maybe get him out of detention, or I mean, if they can make a case for him to, I mean, even be home for that. Because I mean, this is an individual that is not a flight risk, and it's not like he has done anything that would be sort of injurious to anybody. It's not basically harmful to anybody in that particular jurisdiction. So his continuous stay in detention probably is something that the legal team would look into. And I can appreciate the sentiments and all of those things as to the fact that as a former finance minister. But then there's also like a lot of, if you like, fallouts and other things that are being brought into play, which for me takes away from the real issues. The real issue is that there's a Ghanaian who finds himself in another jurisdiction, who has to go through a process and everything. So it might be Ken Ofori-Atta. However, you have hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians who, and some of us who have had experience of living abroad and all of that. I mean, Ghanaians go through quite a lot. I mean, issues to do with immigration and all of these things. So, I mean, in as much as it's Ken Ofori-Atta and people might have their own views on the matter, we have to be careful not to sort of allow emotions and sentiments to come into play, but to ensure that as a Ghanaian, wherever he finds himself, he is accorded the same human rights like everybody else and all of that, because it's a high-profile Ghanaian, so maybe we can be brought to the fore. But what happens to an average Joe that crosses the desert and goes somewhere and crosses the border? You know, so these are, for me, I am quite careful when I comment on some of these issues, you know, because it creates a certain perception out there, even for, we have some challenges diplomatically in the last few months, you know, and if a whole former finance minister can find himself in that particular situation, then it becomes very difficult, because you have young Ghanaians who have aspirations of traveling and going to pursue education, school, whatever you. And so you have to be careful what you wish for. You understand? Because in the last few days, there are even communication coming from the U.S. authorities as to non-immigrant visas and immigrant visas and all of that, and what is being done, and Ghana as a country being put on a particular list and all of that. And if you see some of the countries that we're supposed to be on the same list with, you know, it's not really pleasant, right? And so we have to look at these things in a more big picture perspective, rather than just the individual Ken Ofori-Atta. And that's what I'm saying, because otherwise, issues with people have made comments about business and investment opportunities for Ghanaians. For example, you're a Ghanaian business and you're trying to create some kind of partnership or form a partnership, an American entity, you need to be able to be accorded opportunity to even do your due diligence and everything. So it is not just politics. And so, I mean, we have to be careful how these things are even commented on, not to create the impression that the whole finance minister can leave the shores of this country and be embroiled in some immigration challenges. Because then the impression that it creates is that for the ordinary Ghanaian, immediately he gets to the
he'll be figured out by
ice, or he's actually trying to go there and flout immigration laws. But I mean, if you listen to his lawyers, this is something that he's done. I mean, and it's an administrative issue where you're there on a particular visa, but you have an opportunity to have that particular visa revised or amended or whatever it is. And so that's the process. And so let's wait for the outcome of that.
But there's an individual, a Ghanaian, who refused or allegedly rejected assistance from the Ghanaian embassy in the US.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying, that it's almost like it's a topical issue that can be discussed, but there's very little information. A lot of this thing would be speculative on my part, because I wouldn't know if and indeed he refused assistance from the embassy. You know what I'm saying? So I can only talk about this thing on a more like general view, but I have absolutely no information on, I mean, the individual himself and the circumstances and why he finds himself in that particular kind of border. But I'm just basically expressing views on that. So, yes, I mean, it's topical, but I'm sure this morning there are a lot of other things that we can discuss. I mean, people trying to commute to work. It's a challenge. People leave work at 5 p.m. and getting home at 11 p.m. and all of that. Those are more important issues to discuss than an individual, as prominent as he is, who's embroiled in some kind of legal tussle with an authority in a foreign land. I mean, it's topical. We like that.
You can understand the public interest.
Like the concern too small, you understand, which is nice. But the reality is that I think that the more germane issues that
I agree. But then I also, we can understand the public interest that is attached to this.
Totally.
Yeah, he's a former finance minister. He's a Ghanaian, and he's a person of interest in an ongoing case. We've seen all the back and forth with the OSP and
I totally agree. You know, there always has to be some level of consistency in how we apply these things. I've been reading some of the commentary, even on social media, about our sort of posturing diplomatically that some people even believe is the reason why
we've been placed on that.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, the minority in parliament have issued a statement, and they hold a certain view and all of that. So you see, in all of these conversations, we always have to be very careful how you push it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying that, yes, as important as it is not really germane to our everyday existence. I mean, there are bread and butter issues that we can discuss. And of course, because it's topical, I mean, we can broach the subject, but it's not really something that we should be spending too much time on.
Well, it's important enough for a group to picket at the U.S. Embassy here in Accra, demanding that the former finance minister be brought back home to face to account for his stewardship as a finance minister.
Yeah, but we have an individual who, I think in the last 7 years or so, 6 years, had been known and been an open secret that was domiciled in the US, who actually had a conviction. I didn't see that group picketing that person should be brought. You see, I mean, there's a politics of it. You know how I operate. I mean, there's a politics of it, and then the theatrics that comes with some of these things that, for me, doesn't... I mean, I'm not really interested. It's not something that excites me. Because at the end of the day, there's a process, there's a legal process. Going to an American embassy to pick it does not sort of change anything, and it will not sort of get them to circumvent the legal processes just by virtue of a group in Ghana going to stand at the American embassy to pick it. That's not how a civilized legal country operates. Right. You know, that's what I'm saying. So sometimes some of these things, people are excited about it. They want to be seen. It's also an opportunity, 15 minutes of fame, you know, get your name out there, you know, but it's really, I mean, I mean, if I had a brother or a sister who was going to pick out the American embassy because Ken Ofori-Atta should be brought home, I'm like, shall I find something more important to do, right? These are things that had already been activated. If we listen to the Attorney General, and even some of the commentary coming from the NDC administration, claiming or making certain assertions that they are in the know and that they have even activated this process and all of that. Am I lying? Yeah. So if that process had already been activated by people within the administration, then why do we have to go and picket the embassy to force the American government to just pick up Ken Ofori-Atta and then put him in the plane to come to Ghana to face prosecution? In the same vein, a couple of days ago, I was listening to a certain lawyer, I've forgotten what his name is, laying claim that if the former Maslock CEO decides to fight this extradition process, it will take 2 or 3 years for her to come. So I thought that whilst they are there at the American embassy, they will be picketing so that both of them will be brought. Yeah, that's right. But so it should tell you where this thing is coming from. I mean, and that,
one has been convicted.
And that guy. So there's nothing that is stopping. I mean, my problem, to be honest with you, I'm not a lawyer, right? My problem with even this administration is that you do not need the physical presence of Ken Ofori-Atta to prosecute him. There's nothing in a legal...
He can be tried in absentia.
So go ahead and do that. Because even if he's present, there's nothing that enjoins him to cooperate with you. You know, so that's why I'm saying that if you're not careful, it becomes just politics. Rather than legalese. Right? Because you say this person has done A, B, C, D. Right? And you believe strongly that whatever he has done, right, there's enough evidence and there's prima facie for you to be able to go ahead and prosecute him. And you're insisting that before you start that process, right, he has to be in the jurisdiction and come and cooperate with you to prosecute him. When basic... Right? When basic, legal trite knowledge says that, you are rather the one who's supposed to prove. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes, some of it is joking. We play, we play too much. And you find people that I have a lot of respect for, very intelligent persons, making all sorts of wild statements and everything. You do not need Ken Ofori-Atta's physical presence to prosecute him. Then he becomes a real fugitive. Unless, of course, I'm missing something. Maybe I need a bit more education. You do not. Right? Then he becomes a person of interest. He's left the jurisdiction. He didn't bring himself to face the law. It's all part of the things that you can even use as a basis to pin him, isn't it? So go ahead and do it. Rather than this triatics and all of that. I mean, it's the same thing that they did with this oral thing. They said that, there's 5 billion or 6 billion that is going to be coming to the coffers. And everybody was excited. Let's go and find it. But now, apparently, it was a Kokonsa committee. And that we say Eric is driving ABC, and if you put the value of that, it costs this. It must have been indulged in some kind of whatever. Let's go and bring it. You cannot bring it, right? You know, we shouldn't do that to ourselves. And you see, one of the things that I always say, as the political class. We do this to ourselves, but the reality is that the public perception about politicians has come to an all-time low. Because everybody is inept, everybody is corrupt, everybody is lousy, everybody is... I mean, but that cannot be the case. So for me, I think that, yes, let's allow the process to go through. Let's allow the legal processes there to... there's nothing that's stopping the current administration to activate the process to prosecuting Ken Ofori-Atta.
Very well.
And I believe that it's even in everybody's interest for that accusation or allegation that have been leveled against him to go through to its logical conclusion. So that well and indeed, because I mean, otherwise then it's almost as if that it becomes persecution rather than prosecution, which is not really right.
Very well. Let's say good morning and welcome to the Member of Parliament for END, the Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. So perhaps he can bring some education to the conversation. Honorable, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to my senior colleague. Good morning to the good people of END.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. The Happy New Year is in order, right?
Indeed,
I think we've not met since the beginning of the year. Yes,
so
thanks so
happy
much.
New Year to you too.
Thank you.
One of my favorite places in Ghana.
Yendi.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not sure you've been there recently.
I've been there several times.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow. Good stuff. Anyways, the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta is in the news again. Yesterday, he faced an immigration judge in the U.S. His case has been adjourned to April 27. But back home, a group picketed at the U.S. Embassy demanding, assistance from the U.S. authorities for his extradition to face or to account for his stewardship or his tenure as a finance minister. From where you sit, I mean, Eric mentioned that he could be tried in absentia. You do not need his fiscal presence to go ahead to prosecute the case. But I know you lawyers have instances where you would require the fiscal presence of a person of interest. So maybe you can give us some education on that, and then you bring it, you tie it into the immigration case as was heard last night.
You see, thanks so much, and then thank you for the information. Picketing. Let's start with the picketing. I think the picketing matter is one that is also in line with our laws. To the extent that, in fact, if you ask me, in fact, I will say that they may have learned it from Ken Ofori-Atta, the picketing. You remember Occupy Flagstaff House? You remember Let My Vote Count?
Yeah.
These were...
Was that Ken Ofori-Atta?
Yeah, Ken was part of those things. You could see Ken in red armbands, everything in red.
He joined in solidarity.
He was there, and he was speaking to the media, talking about accountability. I remember when Eric was talking, Eric talked about the process, the fact that there's a legal process. So if you leave the legal process and then you are picketing, it appears like you are not even trusting the legal process. No, the two can run hand in hand. The fact that, in fact, picketing is also a legal process because it is endorsed by law. To the extent that they are not being hauled before any investigative body for picketing, it should tell you that they are within the law. And then secondly, listen, at the time we had Occupy Ghana, Let My Vote Count, all those things happening, and at the time we had these individuals picketing at the Flagstaff House, we had individuals of the NPP in court. You remember this guy, Nimaku?
Yes.
And then...
Head of legal for the NPP.
Yes, and then this guy who was the deputy NADMO coordinator, Ramadan. They were in court. They were at the Supreme Court at the time, asking for ghost names to be deleted from the... You know, but we had come out with this. I'm talking about 2016 elections. We had come out with these names, ghost names in our register and those things, and they were in court fighting for that. While the Supreme Court was considering that action, you understand, the refight at the Supreme Court, they still went ahead and exercised another democratic right of picketing at the Flagstaff, demanding the president to act. And so picketing It's actually another layer of exercising your right. You understand? To actually make sure that you have all angles, because sometimes when you are in court, you are only dealing with the judiciary. You remember? And you know that sometimes much of the work has to be done by the executive. So what do? Do you just leave it there? No, if you know that there's another avenue open to you that you can enforce you can push the executive to also act in accordance with your wish, you do that.
Yeah.
And Ken did that in 2016, and he espoused the idea of accountability, that we should hold our leaders to account. Today, you are only asked to come and answer questions based on your stewardship, not based on your private matters, not based on how you run your private business, enterprise insurance, data bank. No, not like that. Not based on how you and your wife run your affairs at home, or you and your children. How did you manage the 7-year plus mandate that we gave to you as a finance minister? And remember, don't even equate this Ken to any other issue. In fact, I hear people talking about Tamaklo, the lady. Look, this man was given the entire purse of the country, the entire resources of the country for 7+ good years. That's not a joke.
Indeed.
And to the extent that you can't come back to account for this, then the least master, and you were the one who was at rooftop asking people to hold governments to account.
But this man has not been convicted by any court.
You see, and he's making his matters worse. You see, when he comes to Ghana, he will even have a tall order at the end of the day. Because you see, if today the immigration court in US comes to a conclusion that indeed you were illegally staying in the US and they make an extradition order, now what it means is that you are somebody who is known to have gone against the laws. You have breached laws of another country. You see, when judges consider bail, because the first thing the first thing we do is whether you get bail. Yeah. Because there will be an arrest, obviously, and then you'll be put before court. The first thing your lawyers will do will not be about the merit of the case, it will be about bail as lawyers. Now, when you go to bail, factors are, if you look at Section 96 of Act 30, the Criminal Procedure and Other Offences, the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act. Now, it tells you the factors the courts take into consideration in granting bail. Now, let me tell you, if you have been called to come, you have been written letters to, you have even responded and given timelines that you come to Ghana to face prosecution, and all those things, you have not respected those things. And it has to take now the US arresting you and put you before court, and the court, look, those things, when those things are put before the court, and the judges are humans, they're also following what is happening. Tomorrow, if you are put before that judge, and your lawyers come to say that you are not a flight risk. Yeah. Look, if I am that judge, even if an NPP member were that judge, do you think, looking at all these factors,
so it makes it difficult securing
bail? It will make your work very difficult. It will make your lawyers' work very difficult. And tomorrow, that time, they will see NPP turning back to blame NDC again. They will blame the government that we are controlling the judiciary and asking the judiciary not to grant him bail. But all that the show he's putting up there, is all going to work against him. They are all going to be considered by the court, because the Attorney General, when he goes to court, he's going to bring out all these things. That the difficulty the OSP had in bringing him to the country, the letters that have been written to him, the assurances he has given to the OSP, and the deadlines he has given, all of which have come to naught. Right. You understand? Right. And today it has to take a legal process again to get you here.
In another jurisdiction.
Do you think any judge sitting on your case will grant you bail? And if you are not given bail, what does it say about our respect for human rights? And would your people be going about saying that there's an influence on the judiciary not to grant bail and all those things? And so, to me, look, if that order is made, eventually, it has the effect of even putting a ban on you never to visit the US, or to give you some lengthy period, say 20 years, 10 years, you can never step foot in the US. When this thing could have been easily cured. Your colleagues are here answering the charges. They are freely walking on the streets of Accra. Wouldn't me walks in and out of court every day? You understand? A lot of your people, the National Service scandal, all the accused persons are walking in and out. And so just bring yourself, come and answer the charges. And you're saying what? Yes, the issue of trial in absentia, that's not in doubt. Our laws allow that. But you see, it is not for nothing that Article 88 of the Constitution gives power to the Attorney General to prosecute on behalf of the state of government. Now, the Attorney General has his evidence. You understand? Yeah. And he looks at the evidence and he says that per the evidence I have, this is how I want to go with my process. You understand? Based on the evidence I have. You see, when a party does not appear in court and you go through the processes and you end up securing conviction, you understand? It is not as strong as, yes, it's as good as when the person was in court, but it's not as strong as when you have the party bringing his side of the case to court and having the issue. Because you see, when Ken is not in court, nobody can stand in his stead.
Right.
An accused person is an accused person. There is no representative of the accused person in court. We do not have that in our laws. It can only be the accused person. The lawyers will come and say, we are representing, we are the legal reps of the accused person, but they are not saying that they are the accused person, or they can only act as lawyers, which role is also defined in our laws. Okay. But what you want to hear from the accused person is different from what the lawyers will hear. To the extent that is why when even you put an accused person in the box, and as maybe say a state attorney, I am cross-examine the accused person. At that time, the lawyer has very little to offer, very little assistance to offer him. The only assistance you have to offer him is when the attorney or the lawyer who is cross-examining the witness is going overboard. Right. You understand? Right. Asking leading questions, trying to get into areas that are not allowed in the law, that he can intervene. But as to the truism of the answers, as to the line of answers he's given, you cannot so much interfere.
And sometimes you even want to assess his body language.
So that is why, and the judges, that is why, you see, if you look at Opuni case, take the Opuni case for example, one judge starts the case, almost through with the case, and then he went on retirement. Now, a new judge, in fact, the judge who took over actually taught me land law at Gimpa. Oh, okay. The new judge takes over the case, and he looks at the case, he said, this is a criminal case. The judge who would have listened to all the evidence given, who would have seen the witnesses in the box and all those things, in coming out with his conclusion, sometimes it's not about what you say, it's about your body language and the promptness of your responses. The fact that sometimes a judge will say that this person was taking time to process his thoughts before giving answers.
You are hesitant.
You are hesitant. And as opposed to somebody who, once the question is given, he gives an answer immediately. He doesn't have to process it and all those. So the judges take a lot of factors: your body posture, your delays in responses, the consistency of your answers, and all those things. So it's not just about what you say, but how you say it and the mannerisms you put across. You understand? Yeah. And so all these factors. And so that the new judge had to say that no, this before I can consider this case, the Opuni case, this case has to start de novo. You understand? And that was what he came to the extent that the lawyers for Opuni had to take the matter to the Court of Appeal. Oh no, the state took the matter to the Court of Appeal that they would not allow the case to start de novo, because starting de novo means that because it had taken like 5 years.
Exactly.
And starting de novo means another 5 years.
They are going to throw away all that 5 years.
Yes, all that way. And the judge said no. I can also rely on the evidence that had been gathered by the other judge. I didn't know I can't tell what he saw in the witness and all those things. And the matter traveled all the way to the Supreme Court. So it is a practice in our courts that the judges look at a number of factors, not just what you say, but how you say it, your mannerisms, the promptness, and everything. You understand? And so I think all in all, we need him in the country. If nothing at all, if not for even this prosecution, he was espousing accountability. And I always say something, you see, Ken's attitude is born out of how he was. You see, Nana Addo made his appointees during his time when he was in government, when they were in government. Nana Addo made his appointees to feel that they were above the law. Really? I tell you. A lot of that, you see, sometimes, look at what we have today, the situation we have today. Look, all appointees, all ministers of state are scared to undertake certain adventures. They know that there's some watchman over them. And your mama doesn't mince words in saying that the first minister or the first government appointee to bring a scandal to my government will be shown the exit. And he does not delay in handing you over to the investigative authorities to investigate you. That is how, as a leader, that is the kind of authority you need to stamp, so that your people will operate with some bit of restraint. Because, you see, our system puts so much powers in the hands of the executive, so much so that if they are not controlled, if their discretion does not come under some restrictions.
But
they
I
tend to
don't
do so
think
much.
any leader appoints people to any leader, Nanado inclusive, appoints any person to go and misbehave.
Don't talk about appointment. In fact, Nanado, remember, he was even the first person at the time of his appointment who would have time to give speeches about each and every minister. This man has done this, he has achieved it, and he expects this. After the talks, Nanado was the best. In fact, in our history, Nanado, in terms of his speeches, but the delivery was counter. It was completely opposite his actions, his utterances. You understand? You have appointees who were being leveled with serious allegations, and he would always be the first person. He would always be the first person to cleanse them before even the investigative authorities will start their work. And so he made the people feel like demigods. They didn't feel accountable. And so Ken does not feel like he has any obligation to Ghanaians. In fact, remember at the time he was even sick and he was asked to resign.
Is that the case or a fear of ill treatment if he should come?
No, you see, initially it was a fear. It was the case that I don't owe you anything.
Initially he wasn't well.
He's always not been well.
He was seeking medical
even
help.
Today, have they come back to tell you that he's now well? Have they come back to tell you today that he's fine? It is only because he's now in the hands of the U.S. authorities that we are all saying that we're being hook-winked into thinking that Ken was not feeling. Yes, but we've always been made to understand that he's not been feeling well. We have never been given. Look, they have come to give us update of his medical distance. They have not come back officially to tell us that he's now fine, he's fit for anything, until this issue came up.
Perhaps he's still not fit.
But has that issue come up? You understand?
Yeah.
Has that issue? You see, he's not fit. He's starting trial. He's appearing in court. He's looking hearty. You
Was he looking hearty?
He is. He is.
The man was in the mask. How do you know?
You mask. Even Ghana here, people still wear masks. Do you know that?
Fatal.
Yes, even here in Ghana, people still wear masks. It does not mean anything.
He was looking hearty.
Even in Ghana here, when you are wearing masks, that means you are sick.
But if he's in the mask, how do you know he was hearty?
The man is hearty. What does mask is just to maybe you don't want to put,
you don't want
any contamination.
House situation to know what is going on.
No, to the extent that his fit appearing before television being made to he looks healthy. We don't need anything to tell him. The man was in the country here. He was sick, visibly ill, but he kept. When he was asked to release the position of finance minister, you understand? He said he would rather prefer to die in service of his country.
Patriotic.
Thank you. So why don't you even put the same risk when you are asked to come and account?
Now he's out of service.
You are asked to come and account. It's a part
has
of.
deteriorated.
Do you think accounting for your stewardship is not part of being servicious to your country?
It is, but his health has deteriorated. He needs to be
who told you that?
To render account.
His health has deteriorated. These people who have arrested him, they are more mindful of these things. Look, these people have the capacity to determine his health status without any contradiction.
Very well.
You understand? To the extent that they are holding him, if he was sick, they would have been the first people to have walked him through that ladder to get him fit for trial. The man is healthy. The man must come and account for his stewardship. He was espousing accountability, and he has trained people to pick it at authorities, at the premises of various authorities, and put pressure. He has trained people and put pressure, and so he should not run away from his own shadows.
It's only politics that would make such a fine legal brain. Into
the arena that he's got to.
But I mean, it's easy because in one breath. I mean, I was listening to him with rapt attention, where in one breath he was espousing the law and everything. Then he ventured into the politics of it. For me, I mean, I don't speak for Ken Ofori-Atta. I also don't even want to pretend that I have the capacity to do so, right? It's a process that is, But sometimes we need to educate ourselves. When you use words like, in a legal parlance, you use words like, you have to come and account. What does that mean in legal terms?
That's not legal.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not legal. That's government.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's not legal.
Let the process, I think that, let the process start. The Attorney General should go to court today or tomorrow. Nothing should stop him from going to court, activating a process and saying that I have this evidence on Ken Ofori-Atta and I'm starting the process.
Discretion.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So that, because it's the same discretion that this Attorney General has used by coming into office and within a month or two, filing nolli prosequi on everybody that is aligned to the NDC.
And he got some money. He got some money for the state.
Which, you see, no, let me make my point. You see, in one way, this country is a very interesting country, right? So, and everybody is quiet because the NDC has goodwill. Do you understand what I'm saying? So nobody seems to actually have a challenge with anything that has happened, which is fine. I mean, you win power, it comes with some level of goodwill and some whatever it is that you enjoy over a period. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, is it the case that all the same thing that he's talking about in terms of accountability, you have to account for your stewardship and all of those things. A process was activated, it went through a legal process and all of that. And NDC administration comes into office and says that every single one of these individuals that went through this process, we are actually filing nolli prosequi because we feel that the processes were problematic or there's challenges with it and everything. And then they decide to go after the MPP appointees, which is still well within their right. The attorney general say that, oh, I have the discretion and the right to, because even when it comes to issues to do with prosecution, the sole responsibility lies with him to either go ahead or not, because I mean there might be certain considerations that we don't know, and the wisdom of the writers of the Constitution, they put that in there because there's certain issues that are even of national security implications that you can sort of give a bait to catch a bigger fish, and all those things are there. We all appreciate that. So for me, I think that this thing should be allowed to rest. Let the Attorney General go to court, activate the process, and start his prosecution. But whilst you're doing that, there has to be a certain clear indication that you are fair and firm, and you are applying the laws without prejudice and without sort of making it look like a selective justice sort of thing going on. You understand my point? So let's allow it. I mean, for me, Ken Ofori-Atta has had his day in court. The processes have been activated. We believe that, I mean, like what they've said, they are going to detain him, but it doesn't mean that his legal team don't have the opportunity to try and vary whatever it is that it is. And then we can focus on other things. But I have no challenge, and I don't think that anybody has a challenge, even within the MPP, saying that Ken Ofori-Atta or whoever was responsible for some level of stewardship should be accounted for whatever it is that they did. But when you sit back, you take a cursory look. I mean, I can give you so many examples. The Saglemi, the Dufour case, this, that, and all of those things. Without prejudice to even the individuals that are involved, because there's a right. I mean, once they are Ghanaians, they have to enjoy that right, NDC or MPP, right? All of these things have been truncated. And then you're fighting. So in the same, that's what I'm saying that. If you take a cursory look and you have she said we shouldn't compare the Sedinam issue because for Sedinam, she was just given a small portion of the cake, right? And Ken Ofori-Atta was responsible for everything. However, the same constitution that is supreme has been activated and is gone through to a logical conclusion. A conviction has been secured. That one, you guys are not interested in picketing to bring her. But that is why I'm saying that. She's been arrested. But again, even her, and being very objective and fair, she also has rights. Am I lying? Yeah. And those rights, like was espoused intelligently, eloquently by a lawyer a couple of days ago, say that even her, she can decide that she'll fight the extradition process. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It is because we agree that as a civilized society, we want to be governed by the tenets of law.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can also say, oh, let's send some people somewhere, go and put her in wherever, or go to America and dump Ken Ofori-Atta into this and bring him back. But that would also be flouting
the laws.
Even that person's right. But once they get into the jurisdiction and you apply and you arrest them and you give an opportunity to legal representation and all of those things, then the process starts. So as difficult as it is, it is also important that sometimes when we make these calls, we have to be careful because you see, maybe myself and Honorable, by virtue of where we find ourselves, when something happens, somebody will have some people coming to bail us or whatever. But when there's an ordinary trotro driver or taxi driver or somebody who finds themselves in a certain situation, if you're not careful and we call for some of this, it is a recipe for chaos. So for me, this Ken thing, let it go through the process.
Ken taught the youth the art of picketing.
There's nothing wrong with. I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying that.
That is what
I'm saying that whilst they were picketing,
what is good for
they should have picketed for 2.
It's learning from
that's it.
So for you, Ken should come.
He must come.
Does he have an option to decide which country he's deported to in the event that the case?
So that is always left to the legal system there, and then what the lawyers are able to do. And I know that is what the lawyers will be fighting for, even if eventually they don't get him to stay. If the extradition has to be done, they may be putting in that leg of the fight to say that because he has visas to a number of countries as well, and the lawyers will not lose sight of those options. So they will obviously explore those options.
Very well.
But at the end of the day, we have what we call the reciprocal system in our international system, where countries try to reciprocate the good gestures they do to each other. The U.S. has been here a number of times, chasing certain suspects, people they have suspected to have flouted their laws. And when those the Ghanaian agencies, investigative bodies have assisted them, they have arrested those people, they have handed them over. You understand? To the U.S. authorities. And so we expect that principle of reciprocity will be applied here, and that once the extradition is to be done, once the orders are to be made, it should be made specific to the fact that he is handed over to the Ghanaian authorities.
Very well. Let's still stay in the U.S. This matter of the visa ban, the U.S. immigrant visa ban. The minority yesterday held a press conference, and they are calling for the dismissal of the Foreign Affairs Minister. They think that his style of, if you like, diplomacy is hurting the country. I think I read somewhere that they say it cost us some billions of dollars, and I mean it's costing us a lot. Basically, they want Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa removed as Foreign Affairs Minister. Honorable, these are your colleagues in Parliament. What do you make of this position that they've taken?
Well, thank you so much. You see, as for what happens in the U.S. today, the whole world is startled by what is happening in the U.S. today. And so if governments have to be, or if leadership of countries have to be changed in line with the actions of Donald Trump, then trust me, no country will have a leader even occupying the seat for 6 months. Just yesterday, the U.S. and its NATO members, UK and Europe, were on the same table drinking tea and fashioning out policies that will further their common interest. You understand? And that will further keep their adversaries far from their objectives. Today, the same set of people are now in strong loggerhead with Trump. So Trump himself is unpredictable. And so if I see opposition members in Ghana who are taking issues with the fact that Ghana has been included in the list of 75 countries who have been given visa ban. And mind you, this visa ban, they always don't tell Ghanaians the
real reason for the visa ban.
Not even the real reason, the implication. It's not a total visa ban. They are not saying that Ghanaians should not come to US. That is not the meaning. You understand? It's the immigrant ones.
Yes. So don't come and stay.
Don't come and stay. If your husband, if you are married to a man who is in US today, and who wants to now bring you there as the wife, to come and live in US, those are the people that, or if a woman you are there, you want your husband to join you as an immigrant, you are not, those are the people that the ban applies to. But not you and I who go on tourist distance or on business trips and all those things. No, it is not applicable to us. And let me tell you, 75 countries, have you seen the list? It's a list that has very big countries. It has Brazil in it. You understand? Brazil is not a joke. You understand? And so Trump does things that you can't even, a reasonable man cannot fathom. You can't just understand the actions of Trump.
Yeah.
And so if you have opposition in Ghana who are failing to be responsible, and I've read, in fact, I've read portions of the press statement, and I'm really appalled. You see, we are young, and this guy, the Busumi Frehu MP, Nana Asafo-Adjei.
Yeah.
We are young. We are just new in parliament. We need to learn. Ablakwa is one of the finest MPs you can find. In his 12-year role as the Minister for Foreign Affairs, what Ablakwa has been able to achieve, MPP could not achieve it in their entire 8-year term.
Really?
I am telling you.
What has he achieved?
Ablakwa, sometimes I ask myself, you see, sometimes, you know, initially, oh, this man has not been to public service. Sometimes I ask myself, this man, what kind of brain does he carry? Look, have you seen Ablakwa responding to questions in parliament? I always tell myself, Ablakwa's style of responses to questions that are put before him in parliament is different. Very comprehensive, very exhaustive. And you can see that this is somebody who is very diligent, who puts himself to the task. You understand? And if you look at what he has, you are not surprised of his achievement within the last 12 years. Look, today as we speak,
asking what the achievements
today as we speak, in all the 16 regional capitals, we have passport processing centers. That is unprecedented. Today, every regional capital has a passport processing center that is taking governance to the people.
The position or the challenge or the issue of the minority has to do with his style of diplomacy.
And I'll come to that. You see, you know what? Look at how they described him. They described him as immature, confrontational, and diplomatically illiterate conduct. Diplomatically illiterate conduct. What do you mean by that? This is somebody who, by the tool of diplomacy, he has been able to get Ghana, a number of countries signing up to our agreement to have visa-free visits. We have had the unprecedented numbers within 1 year in the history of this country under Ablakwa. So Ablakwa has been able to make sure that all our passports are chip embedded. This is an achievement that even some advanced countries are yet to reach. We now have chip embedded passports. And you know what? Do you know that we always complain that the private sector is always doing better than the public sector in our country in terms of the efficiencies we see in our ways of doing it.
Yeah.
The key thing, I've worked in the private sector for 10 years plus. The key thing you see the private sectors do is the setting of KPIs for their workers. At the beginning of the year, every worker knows what the deliverables are, what is expected of that worker, what he has to bring to the table to get what at the end of the year. And based on that, his end of year bonus will be determined based on his KPI. For the first time in the history of our country, Ablakwa has made sure that all our diplomatic envoys sign up to KPIs, key performance indicators, telling the whole country, telling His Excellency the President of the Republic what they would do in their 4-year mandate.
Is that Ablakwa or is the President?
Who is the Minister for Foreign Affairs? For the president, he has so much on his plate. You understand? Your sector is your sector. You run your sector. You have his blessings. As far as he agrees with you, you have his blessings. But what is happening in your sector is assuming things are not going well in your sector. Do we blame the president or the minister for the sector? You understand? And so, if you look at what this young man has been able to achieve within this short period, now you can get up and visit a number of countries. A number of countries. 90 days visa-free. If you want to stay beyond the 90 days, then that's when you go for an extension. And those countries are more than willing to extend. So this guy, a young man, and if you look at the way he has taken his job, look, he's just so diligent, so comprehensive at what he does, and he knows what he's about. You understand? And look at his position. Look, almost everywhere, very visible. And he does all these things, and he's still able to run his constituency as if he were not even an MP. Look, Foreign Affairs Minister. And look at another strategic thing he did. Do you know that prior to the coming into force of NDC, do you know that we were spending $50 million annually?
On what?
As rentals for our diplomatic missions. Rentals each year, $50 million. That was how much we're paying. A broker comes to the seat and says, no, we have to be strategic about this. We have to take a decision that will make us be able to own these facilities. Because sometimes this arrangement of rent is done with some collusions. You understand? And so at the end of the day, the state pays a lot of money to people who are very questionable contracts. I could say, no, this money we are spending, if we use 3-4 year budget of that, we can acquire these properties for life. And we will not have these properties in these missions as our own property.
Right.
You understand? You don't have to pay rent. This is somebody, look at all this monumental achievement this man has been able to achieve within a space of 12 months. Now you, as a young MP, barely a year as an MP, you are learning on the job. Look, his boss, Jinapo, Abu Jinapo, he's one of the finest people. Abu Jinapo, if he were to...
Who is the ranking on the...
Who is the ranking? He is... Nana Asafaje is
deputy ranking. Okay.
Abu Jinapo is ranking. Abu Jinapo, if he were to address this conference, would not have gone this week. Look, he's somebody I respect so much. And you see, if you have not gotten the opportunity to serve in the public service, and you are there to criticize, you are always uncharitable, and it's all born out of your immaturity and your lack of experience. Abu Jinapo would not have spoken the way this guy has spoken. And I think he has to learn to be respectful. He has to learn to tone down on his arrogance, on the way he speaks, the way he describes leaders. You pray that one day...
Is that confidence or arrogance?
It's arrogance. You, as a first-timer in MP, Abloka has done over 4 terms. You understand? You, as a first-timer in MP, you have a lot to... This is your first year. You are now learning foreign diplomacy. You understand? And so put yourself down there and learn the job, rather than going to describe people who have achieved so much in their life as being immature, as being illiterate in their diplomatic conduct. When this man has achieved far more than, in 1 year, what he has achieved is far more than what you have been able to achieve in 8 years.
Very well. Oh, thank you. Eric, I'd have to take a quick break at this point, but we're inviting you to send us your thoughts and your comments. We'll take a break here. When we come, we'll continue with the conversation. You're welcome back. Thank you for staying with us here on Channel One Television. This is Breakfast Daily. We're having the news review segment, and we're inviting your comments, your thoughts, and your contributions. I'm going to Eric Chum now for his own submission on this U.S. immigrant visa ban and the position of the minority, demanding, if like, the dismissal of Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa as Foreign Affairs Minister. Eric, what's your own position on this? Are you in agreement with the minority?
You see, I have a bit of a smirk.
Yeah, I see the smirk on your face.
On my face. You know, and I want to be a good boy
this morning. You don't want to do the usual politics.
I don't want to say I'm not a good boy this morning.
You know, it's interesting that when the Ken conversation cropped up, he says that, oh, Ken has taught the young people in this country how to pick tickets.
Yeah.
And then now you're giving you're giving moral lessons to Asafoje on how to speak to people who are supposedly seniors and older than, and the language.
Yeah, because people look up to him.
You know what I'm saying? Easy, but you know, and I don't like to personalize my commentary. I mean, Ablakwa is a fine gentleman, he's my friend. I mean, you know, I have a lot of respect for him. But when it comes to this political commentary and this thing that is purported to have come from Asafoje, I have absolutely no comes about whatever language that he decides to use. You understand? I mean, of course, we have to be, on a serious note, we have to be very circumspect.
You have to be diplomatic in demanding diplomacy.
And all of those things. So, I mean, if anybody uses intemperate language or things that are acerbic or whatever, we shouldn't encourage that, regardless of where it is. I mean, myself and Honorable, we are here, we are colleagues, and we have respect for each other. And that should be the case. But you see, what he is calling for, he doesn't have the moral right to call for that. But the reality is that, in the same vein, he was trying to talk about what supposedly as successes that have been chalked by the minister, and is running away from the challenges. And that's the challenge that I'm sure even the viewers would be having with how politicians communicate. So there's a certain level of self-aggrandizement where everything that is positive is us. Yeah. And when there are issues that we don't have to, don't want to deal with, right? Because people have had, and I told you, I mean, prior to even this conversation, I told you that when you go on, I would say social media, but then it's also part of like the public space in terms of public opinion and everything. There's a certain growing perception that our diplomacy and how our posturing is a bit off, or even some of the things that we, for one reason or the other, have developed a penchant for commenting on. Sometimes people find it unnecessary, or they feel that we are just getting into areas where we shouldn't really be. Yeah. And these are personal opinions, and the same rights that these people hold. Yeah. And the same rights that Ablakwa, for the last how many years that has been in public service, also push that if he has an opinion of the subject and he feels strongly about a subject, he would push it. Yeah. You know, so it's about finding that balance. Yeah. And so if the public perception is that the posturing is a bit off, it looks like we are being a bit too confrontational, or we are dabbling in issues that we shouldn't. I don't want to, repeat some of the things. I mean, you don't issue a statement and sort of try to dabble in some global impasse between America and another country. You know what I'm saying? So people are a bit uncomfortable with that. And then without proper education, like Honorable said, without proper education, people would even make certain attributions that, it's because of what the minister said that the American government has put us on. And that when you go out there, that is the... That's just a perception, unless, of course, I'm making it up. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so you have to be, and that is why they call it diplomacy. You know, that you have to be careful how you navigate these things, because they are, Ghana as a country, I don't know if we've changed from that particular track. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, since I was a child, we've always been non-aligned. Non-aligned, yeah. You know something, which means that we are a country that is moderate, and everybody's our friend. Non-alignment is actually alignment, but exactly. But that's that is, you know, and everybody's our friend, and we want to, operate in a global space that is free, fair, and everybody, people, regardless of where they come from, have the leverage to do whatever it is that they want within, of course, the legal rights that everybody should have, and the sovereignty that every country should enjoy. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, this statement coming from the minority, in as much as people from the other side will look at it from a purely political standpoint, would also have to be looked at, because these members of parliament, and this is something that we forget, are also representing constituencies. Right? And so it is what, if Honorable would even be truthful, there are people in his constituency who want to go to America. True. And who feel a bit uneasy about some of these statements and developments and all of that. We have to,
but do we call for the head of the finance?
But that is why. But you see, that is why. But this is listen.
Who issued the statement?
Listen, Nana.
That was the foreign affairs minister.
That is what I'm saying. See, he sat here. And for me, I think that when we are done, you should send some check to him and then to ChannelOne TV as well. Because he's done like fantastic PR work for the foreign minister. You understand? But the point is that, you see, whilst you're doing that, you understand, you're talking about this chip embedded password. It didn't start with Ablakwa. This setting up of offices, setting up a VIP, what's it called?
Today
processing.
You can process your passport within 24 hours.
Let me finish. This processes of setting up an express processing passport center didn't start today. But you've said all of these things. We will give it to you. Do you understand? There are people still hustling, trying to get their passports. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And so, whilst you are now busy listing all of these achievements, then you also have to have the same ear to listen to the sentiments and the things that people you cannot. No, but if you're talking about the tone, that's what I say. I don't want us to digress. And if you're talking about the tone, there's nobody in this country that has said these things. I mean, these things that these people wrote that Ablakwa has not said in this country. What are you talking about? I mean, come on. Let's not be. You understand? When he was sending petitions about the late Jacob Obechebi, was Obechebi his mate? Was he? No, but that is what I'm saying. I don't want to. I don't want us to personalize this.
Exactly.
But if you are admonishing anybody about public rhetoric and talking to people who are supposed to, when they were talking about Akufo-Addo, was Akufo-Addo's Ablakwa's mate? What are you talking about? No, but that is why I'm saying that. That is why I'm saying that. I do not countenance using intemporary language and everything. But when you're advising Asafweje, because he says something that you think that is an affront to Ablakwa. Ablakwa is not somebody that has not said. Now, of course, we would all agree that in the last whatever, he's toned down and everything. Maybe when he was younger, he was a bit abrasive and all of those things. But I don't think that even Ablakwa that you are trying to even protect would even have an issue with this. Because like the same principle that you said that, Ken Ofori-Atta taught people how to take it. Ablakwa taught people how to advocate. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that he would have, and he's my friend. He has been in this game for a long time. I don't think he will have a problem with this. Of course, when they meet in Parliament, and like you guys do, I'm sure when he meets Asafweje in Parliament, they would fix this matter. Right. But the reality, and I mean the principle of this conversation is that we have to be cautious about how we do this diplomacy, so that it does not impact the ordinary Ghanaian negatively. Right. As for the language and what have you and all have you, I mean, for me, it's fair game. I will not say that, I will not do that. But these things are things that people have said worse things. Do you understand? People have accused people of all the corruption in this world. Yet when they went to vetting and they asked them how they even came by, they said that they are wives. But we agreed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So because there's no other basis to say that what they are saying is not true or not. You understand? People make allegations. They even want the persons to be thrown in jail and the locks thrown in the sea, and everything. And yet when it comes to them, when it comes to for where they are supposed to even account or even give a clear indication of how they arrived at whatever it is that they arrived at, they will come up with an excuse. But we don't have any other way of disputing that. But I'm saying that whilst we're doing this to ourselves, right? I mean, I don't see anything wrong with what Asafweje has said. To be honest with you, it is in relation to Ablakwa, with all due respect, because I mean, these days, I'm sure you understand.
Anyways,
so you give me a minute to.
I'm sure you understand.
But I agree. I see non-alignment. That has always been our position. But you see, non-alignment as a principled position does not mean no comment, and it does not mean you are going to be silent on all the ills and wrongs you see. Look, if today you are non-aligned, and you find that a bloc is towing a line that is internationally wrong as far as our foreign relations are concerned. The fact that the fact that you condemn that wrong, or you have to condemn, the fact that you condemn that wrong does not mean that you are aligned to the opposite side of that bloc. Just that what it means is that you should at all times, if you are condemning, you should condemn based on issues. You condemn this one, tomorrow the other side, you should be able to condemn. But if you say non-alignment would simply mean that even if you see the wrongs being done, you should remain mute simply because you are not aligned.
Yeah.
You understand? And look, I would have loved that you give me some seconds to walk people through the achievements of this young man in the last 12 months. It's
Mr.
massive.
It's
massive.
Send some to charge you.
Talk
to the Bernard.
No, I don't have any issue. But see, that list he's talking about. Do you know that Ghana was the first country? You know there was this multiple visa ban by Donald Trump earlier. Ghana was the only country in that list that was able to negotiate itself out of that visa ban.
We accepted the deportees.
When you say negotiation, we negotiated our way out.
Are you privy to the
terms?
You asked him a question.
Is it today we are accepting deportees?
You asked him. You asked him a question.
Is it today? You
asked him a question about the role of the president. You see, we have to be careful. You know, some. You see, and he said that the president has too much on his plate, and that all the credit should be attributed. But you run a campaign. Listen, you see, we have to educate ourselves. You go around the country, you run a campaign based on a manifesto that is supposed to be the vision of a president. Do you understand? And you're serving in.
But that's not in there.
You understand what I'm saying? So you can't.
So you can't. The minister should not take.
You know what to do. Do you know what to do in this country?
I just want to create. So are you saying that the minister will issue this statement without the consent
of a president, a cabinet opposition
on the matter? Any stretch of imagination trying to suggest that. I'm only telling you that you cannot take away that any achievement under the ministry from the minister.
True.
That was very wrong. In as much as you put every blame at the ministry under the doorsteps of the minister, so must you be prepared.
But who has the ultimate? The
ultimate is known. No, but you see, that is also I saying today that the Russian foreign minister, just by virtue of the fact that Russia is also part of these 75 countries, the Russian foreign minister must go.
No, but would you also agree that just as you are asking that the language used by Asafoji be toned down, the language used by the minister in that statement when the Maduro was captured by the US, it should have also been toned down?
What you see, but can we go back to that language? He would not have said that without the blessing of the president. Listen.
Okay, so now it's the.
He would not have said that without the. Now I'm telling you, whatever happens, Maduro's capture, you see. Internationally has been condemned. Trump, to me, Trump has his own style of things.
Indeed,
you understand. And if you want to always be measuring the efficiency of your leaders based on Trump's conduct, you'll be wrong. Because Trump is unpredictable. Even his own government, Republicans are even struggling to bring the guy under control. You understand. And so, if his conduct it has no formula. Today he's friends with you. Tomorrow he's at the other side. Do you know that how can a rational president, how can you be divulging your private chats on your social media with your colleague president, your colleagues, heads of states on your social media handles to the public? Macron sent you a message on this Green Lantern, private chats. I just can't understand it. And you have decided to publish it on your social media, your Twitter handle. Is that how? Look, if it comes to Africa, we say our leaders are this or that. We will not get to that level. And so this man, if he takes his decisions, if he does his things, and he puts countries like Russia, Brazil, Uzbekistan, and all these countries, put them in his list, and you are saying that because Ghana too is part of the list, that is because our foreign affairs minister has not conducted himself well. That is why he's in that list. So are we saying that
what they are saying is that based on how you have described Trump, we should know who the person is. So we should be measured and very strategic.
You cannot be measured against Trump, because whether you are measured or not, you don't know how he will act the next day. Look, the NATO members have not done anything wrong to Trump. Today,
he's going to Greenland.
He is going to Greenland. He tells them whether they like it or not. He is going. He doesn't care. He will use diplomacy, and when faced, he will use force.
Right.
You understand? Right. And he said, look, and when the journalist confronted him on his way to Davos, and I asked him about what Macron said, Macron being the leader of NATO, what did he say? He said Macron will even be out of power in the next few months. How will you even say that to your colleague president, who you know will be running for presidency? Does it mean you will have a hand in the elections in France to determine the fate of Macron? So Trump's issue has nothing to do with how your country, how you position yourself. The man cannot be predicted.
Very well.
You see, for me, I think that this global diplomacy thing, it's a very, it's a hydra-headed environment, and there are a lot of intricacies. There are a lot of things that have happened over the period, post 1945 and all of this global thing. Then, of course, I mean, there's a new world order. These things have happened. This is not the first time you have superpowers and the people jostling for control and position. We've moved away from atomic bomb to nuclear power and all. You understand? So we've gone through all of these things to the ideological wars of socialism and communism and I mean, we've done, you understand, if you're a student of history, you appreciate these things. But what everybody is asking for, that our number one diplomat in this country, right, has been on record to have said certain things. And people have sort of expressed certain views. It's feedback. That's the whole essence of governance. You understand what I'm saying? It's feedback. So you can, like, you're espousing all of these attributes and everything. You can decide to take it or not. Do you understand? As for the minority calling for his removal and everything, it's also part of the process. Like you're saying, you say picketing is part of the process. So if you're a member of parliament and you're part of the minority and you feel that something untoward has happened, or you believe that whatever it is that is being done is an affront to us as a country, you have every right to call for his removal. Right? There are people who call for the removal of persons even when the president was even in office, and they were even asking the president to step down. You understand? Because of one reason or the other. The same people. You understand what I'm saying? All of these demonstrations and all of those things were as a result of things that have happened. Listen, is it not the same Ablakwa who went to Norway? Is it Norway?
The embassy?
The embassy. You know, and he made, so for me, that's what I'm saying, that I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised this morning if, for one reason or another, Ablakwa himself, Honorable, has a challenge with the statement, and I will honestly be surprised. Very well. You know what I'm saying? However, like I always say, and maybe I'm repeating I always say, I believe strongly that our politics still has to have a platform that is based on circumspection, mutual respect, and all of that. But go hard, advocate. If you have a position that you feel that you're convicted about and you have a strong conviction, by all means do that. But the respect should be there. It should be mutual. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't really think that there's a challenge. The challenge is that, like I said, I mean, you are probably even better placed than I am, that the sentiments have been expressed that it looks like our posturing is a bit problematic. And as a government, you can decide to take it. That's what now giving us lessons on what is non-aligned and what is non-aligned. I mean, the point is that you used words like KPI even in another submission. So the question is that what is the benefit of that statement? Is it the case that by all means we should make a statement? Probably not. You understand? Because you can also have diplomatic routes to express that. There's nothing wrong with the Minister of Foreign Affairs sending a note to the ambassador, for example, and saying that, oh, as a country, but does it have to be on social media, on your... You know what I'm saying? You can. That is also a diplomatic route. So you can decide to choose whichever format or channel that you want to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're getting feedback, you know, and that is what happens for politicians. You see, before you know, the dissonance will set in.
Yeah.
The first one will be that when people are queuing to get home, you say, oh, for you, the best public policy that you can put in place is to legalize Okada. The Ghanaians are watching. When people can't find buses, you legalize buses. They are watching.
We are creating jobs.
You see, you can create jobs, but the person is taking 5 hours to get home. And so the most innovating.
We brought in the BRT, bus rapid transport system.
The dissonance will set in. In the same vein.
Yeah.
And Akufo-Addo, they said Akufo-Addo was Nebuchadnezzar. Fair enough. Yet people could walk to the American embassy and stand in a queue and get a visa. Isn't it?
But people have always done that. Even today, people do that. Go to the American embassy and see whether people are not there.
You understand? I'm giving you examples. You understand what I'm saying? And so when they give you feedback, you've won an election, you have the goodwill, and so at this point, you until when the people the view is removed. That is when people would, you say little things. You say you have done this, yet people are paying almost 20% more for utilities. It begins to add up. Their children are going to school. They are failing their but you will not see. You are saying that, because the person's child has failed WASI, and you say that your achievement is that you have gone to set up a passport processing center. That is how politicians behave. And for me, as a brother, I'm advising you. Don't say that. I didn't say it here.
You are paying a lot of things. People are paying more for electricity.
Oh yes. No, don't you know that people are paying more for electricity?
But tariffs have gone up.
Who is behind that? You see,
tariffs have gone up.
But in 1 year, you see, I don't understand you guys. In 1 year, you are taking credit for passport processes that had already been activated, and then you don't want to take.
I want to tell you why people are paying more. You signed the IMF loan agreement. This is the
IMF deal.
The IMF deal, and you signed that every quarter till the end of the IMF deal, every quarter, utility tariffs must be reviewed upward. Now, and you said that at the end of the year, there must be a drastic review, and we are bound by that agreement until we are out of the IMF.
Do you know that
in April this year?
Do you know that?
Put us on this tour.
Do you know that since November, cocoa farmers have not been paid? They've taken their cocoa. Do you know that? But that's what I'm saying. That you'll be sitting here and you'll be saying all of these things.
For the first time,
I was in my village yesterday. I was in Fantiakwa, Etiwa. Is the farmers that you took their cocoa in November? You haven't paid them.
For the first time,
so you say you are
doing in the history of our country, we can't go for syndicated loan because you have messed up the cocoa sector. We do not have credibility to go for syndicated loan.
But why do you have to go for a syndicated loan?
Because that has always been. But you can change it. That's why we are changing it.
Yeah, but
we are fixing your mess. You should be patient.
But
and you say we are enjoying goodwill from Ghana because they voted for us. No, we are enjoying the goodwill because we are doing the right. We are governing well.
Very well. Thank you.
We are on Ghana territory, so I will speak a bit of Ghana. Be or yo.
Good morning, Nana, and your wonderful panel, Mr. Abdul Fattah. It's important to clarify the facts about Ken Ofori-Atta's detention in the United States. He is being held by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and it's not because Ghanaians demanded his prosecution abroad. That's a misconception. That's not what we've said. That's not what we've said. Abu Safianu from Damongo sent that one in. This one says, hello, good morning to ChannelOne TV. I am Augustine, watching live from Upper West Region, Nandom. My question this morning to the NPP is, if they say Ken Ofori-Atta is not needed physically to answer the questions which Ghanaians are willing to ask him, what if he is found guilty? Are we now going to take his words to jail, or he can himself? Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. In my humble opinion, Ken should blame himself for all that is happening to him now. We were told that what he is going through is pure immigration issues. It's all about the it's also about the revocation of his visa, but he has decided to go in for top lawyers in the U.S. to fight for him, to enable him stay in the U.S. instead of him coming back home. He does not want to come home because he's running away from accountability and justice. But I can assure you that nothing can save him. Revocation of visa always goes with deportation, period. All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I was hoping we could touch briefly on the NPP and their meeting with the EC and the police today, but we'll wait for the outcome of that.
Maybe he can speak to it.
We'll wait for the outcome of that.
I have one thing to say about it.
Our time is up.
We have 4 minutes.
Our time is up, unfortunately. So we have just about 60 seconds to go. So if you can do this in 60 seconds, briefly.
Well, I mean, the processes have been activated. The EC and the party team, the election committee met with the representatives of the various candidates. And by and large, I mean, thus far, we are happy with the process. We believe that in a few days' time, on the 31st of January, Dr. Benny Jampon would emerge victorious. But we are also magnanimous that once that victory comes, we've been preaching peace, and we believe that once that victory comes, we would be able to galvanize the base, marshal everybody together to prosecute an agenda for the NPP to come back into office in 2028.
Very well. Thank you so much. Eric Chum speaks for the New Patriotic Party. He's a member of the communications team. The Honorable
I also commend Brian for the show he's putting up, given that it's his first time.
Right.
We've seen people in the race who are there for a number of times. I think Kopna has been there. He was part of the last race. But if you see what Brian is doing and with this first attempt, it tells you that he's a force to reckon with. And I will just say that NPP are in a race to nowhere. So whatever they
decided I wasn't going to come.
Parting gift.
It's fine.
Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan is the Member of Parliament for Yendi. I am Nanatifo Boate. This has been the News Review segment on Breakfast Daily. Many thanks to you for watching. But please don't go away. The show continues after this.